Hello, everyone. Thank you for jumping into this next episode of our 2025 Summer Movie Preview Series. And tonight we are going to discuss a movie I believe is called Elio, if I'm pronouncing it correctly on my end. This is now, Darren, is this a Disney or a Pixar or a both?
Pixar.
Or Pixar. Okay. So it is Pixar.
But Disney owns Pixar, so is it Disney Pixar?
Disney Pixar. Okay. So, but now I would like to get we're going to go ahead. We're going to talk about our proud sponsors over at Nashville Tax Solutions. We're going to share a few words about them. But right after that, I want to pick up the answer to this question. Disney movies in 2025, how long has it been since the last best, like real good Disney movie? So we'll get there in just a moment. But if you wouldn't mind sharing some words about Nashville Tax Solutions.
Palm Bay, Fort Pierce, are tax problems weighing you down? Are you behind on your filings? Facing a lien? Nashville Tax Solutions here with the expertise and dedication you need. Their expert team handles the IRS so you don't have to. But don't just hear it from us. Clients say it best.
They do say it best.
Yes. I'm saying it from behind the wall. So, Chris Bennett and his team turned I love this. This is why we do what we do. Chris Bennett and his team turned a nightmare into peace of mind. So much so that I was able to go behind the Elio Pizza Disney Pixar thing. There I am back again.
And there you are again.
Chris Bennett and his team turned a nightmare into peace of mind. They're sharp, they're honest, and they truly care. See, Mike had to be the adult in the room to with the.
Right, I had to stand.
Oh, there we go. Love that. All right. So don't let tax stress take over your life. Call 855-627-4829. Visit NashvilleTaxSolutions.com or email info@NashvilleTaxSolutions.com today. Nashville Tax Solutions. Real help, real results.
Thank you. And so picking up from our question in terms of the last real good Disney movie, because I feel like there's been a lot of duds lately. So can you off the top of your head remember when the last time that you were really, really appreciative of a Disney movie?
There hasn't been any good one since Up.
Since Up. Okay. Yeah, that's I've actually heard that from one other person. So there have been some but the amount of time it takes them to make it and stuff like that, it's a lot of fails, and it's been a few years since Up, so Up was really
and Pixar used to be the industry standard, and now it's not.
Yeah, because I think Up was back in 2009. I want to say, so
and it's not.
But this movie that we're going to be talking about, Elio is an underdog with an active imagination, finds himself inadvertently beamed up to the Communiverse, an interplanetary organization with representatives from galaxies far and wide. Mistakenly identified as Earth's ambassador to the rest of the universe, he starts to form new bonds with eccentric aliens while discovering who he's truly meant to be. It's a lot there in that. Across the board, let's start with this. I want to say, so our team has been ranking some of these movies, previewing some of these movies. So I got another 3.5. I got a 4. I got another 4. And then I believe, Darren, I could be mistaken. I thought I had yours jotted down here, but it is not. So I'm going to double check. 6.5. So that's actually the highest.
Because again, it doesn't mean it's going to be good. It'll get 6.5 because kids want to see a movie and it's hot outside and camps take kids to movies.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to ask this question maybe off the rails, but that's okay because that's what we like to do, talk about some random things. So typically these are your 10 a.m. your 10 a.m. movie time, correct? Mm-hmm. I always wondered, and I know the movie attendance is not what it was pre-COVID and all that stuff. But there's always been you got to see a horror movie at 7 p.m. or 10 p.m. or the action movie or the big new release, right? I'm not, I know I'm a little older now and everything like that. I'm not saying there needs to be a 5 a.m. movie time, but are you surprised that there's not been an 8 o'clock a.m., 9 o'clock a.m.
movie
still in 2025
It's so interesting you mention that. I was telling that to somebody who I hold near and dear to my heart. I go to a Regal Theater in Mashpee, Massachusetts, all the time, and it's an older theater. It doesn't have stadium seating, but it has a wonderful, wonderful employees and customer service and interaction. They're wonderful. And I was telling that, why not do the morning movies and just do movies all day into
Yeah.
the, and then at midnight, throw a nice throwback movie in there, something from when we were kids. Why not? I
Yeah.
mean, and then 8 a.m. again, that was fun. They should be doing that more often.
Now I understand based on location, but if you're in Orlando, for example, if you're in, Okeechobee, yes, folks, that's a real place. I understand you're going to have your set hours. Maybe no one's going to go see, but if people are getting up to go to church at 8 a.m. in the morning, go to work at 8 a.m. in the morning, maybe they have a full slate of, because sometimes, like, okay, for the average adult, they may not want to go see an Elio. They would go see a Mission Impossible, but the earliest showing is 11:05, and they have a full slate of honeydew things to do or things. Their only opportunity might be 8 o'clock in the morning to go see Mission Impossible because they have no other time for several weeks. So I say all that because this movie is one that's going to probably start at 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. I just would like to see that a little bit more. I don't know.
I think that's great. I mean, and and you mentioned earlier in the past, you work from home, or I was in sales for years, and a sales meeting could be moved. The time could be moved instead of at 9:30, got moved to 12 o'clock. Well, I'm going to go to a movie or go to the gym or whatever the case may be when I'm out in the field. I'm not going to drive 45 minutes back to the office. I mean, you're going to make some money. It's important. It's kind of good. On occasion, you could have, like I said, double features. I mean, there's so many things you can do, and by the way, could you put up into the middle of the screen again this Elio Pizza poster?
Yes.
I mean, look, are we trying? Haven't we seen every one of these characters before?
Yes.
I mean, we've seen. Well, I mean, we've seen them in Monsters Inc. We've seen them in so many other things. What was the thing about the robot that cleaned up planets or whatever? Kid was eating cloudy with meatballs. I don't know. It's all.
Yeah.
You've seen
it almost feels like
at
the end of a long production movie. They just
destroy your
like
monsters.
an end of a production movie. These are the characters that we're going to put out there again because they're left over. And
it's just I get annoyed just looking at it.
Yeah. So let's do what I want to ask you is this. So the premise of this movie, Elio is an underdog with an active imagination. So because I have little to no interest to see this movie, I'm going to go in this direction. So what to you, if you can think of, what is a very good, or what would be top of your list in terms of an underdog story in cinema? One jumps off the page at you. Rocky. Okay. I mean, it's hard to. I probably should have prefaced besides Rocky, but no,
right.
That's the answer, right? There's some feel good ones. Remember My Giants or Little Giants?
You're talking about animated My Giant. Beautiful movie.
My Giant.
Beautiful movie.
My Giant. But Little Giants is the one, right, where they like all ran into the banner, and then they weren't even strong enough to go through the banner, and they bounced backwards. And but always, you always love a good underdogs. Sometimes here's the thing. Sometimes we feel like they don't make movies like they used to and everything, but sometimes you have to realize, okay, just in our in our lifetime, the 80s, the 90s, there's only so many original thoughts sometimes. So after you've seen it so many times, it's difficult to think outside the box. It's difficult to make a horror movie where you have if there's no cell reception. Okay, we've seen that a billion times. It's hard to make some of these animated movies with the type of character that we haven't seen. So I get it's not that easy to do, but looking at that picture, like Darren mentioned, like it's like, okay, there's not many original thoughts here at all. There's got to be if they're probably for this movie from concept to release, that I don't know. I just feel like there's got to be a better decision making somewhere in the process.
No, listen, I agree. Kind of a spin-off of what you're talking about, and obviously we're not talking about Elio right now, but because you know what it's going to be, and enjoy if you and I will see it, and even the Pixar cartoons before the animated feature, they're not nearly as good as they used to be. But anyway, Charles Schultz, remember him? The creator of the Peanuts, Charlie Brown. I don't think I ever asked you this question. I might have. What do you think of his decision to purposely not allow Charlie Brown to ever actually kick that football? That even to the last panel, Lucy pulled it away.
Just why is my only answer. Why?
Yeah.
Why with 17 question mark? Yep.
So what I loved his answer. He's a man of faith, by the way. Strong man of faith. His thing was that on this earth, sometimes you don't get a chance to kick the football.
Okay.
Kind of deep. Deep.
That's deep, but I don't hate it though. I don't hate it.
Right. And you know what? But I bring that up compared to this. We've seen every one of these people a million times.
Yeah.
And we're talking about somebody who died, I don't know, 25 years ago, could be cutting edge and different. Think about the Halloween Charlie Brown Christmas special. His ghost costume had all those holes in it. He got a rock. Fresh, new, interesting.
But you know what's weird though, Darren, too, is like, so we do want original ideas, but then there's sometimes where I'm sorry, if I have limited time in December, as I usually do, or in October, and my options are a new Halloween feature or a new Christmas feature, or watch the Charlie Brown Christmas, the Frosty the Snowman, the original Rudolph, I'm going to go to that almost every single time. So I think there's a time and a place.
I agree. No, I agree 100%. But I will put you on, why do you love those? Because when you watch it, they were unique and different and original. Yeah. And they stayed with you.
And they stayed with us.
Frosty was great. Nothing better than Charlie Brown. I mean, than Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Hermie wants to be a dentist. I mean, come on. You love that
so
stuff.
Good.
Yeah, a gun that shoots grape jelly. We're all misfits.
But, those of you that are watching this, again, we joke about Elio. It may be okay for the kids. We will probably recap it after it's aired. We'll have a big end of summer movie review of the blockbusters that we covered. Go ahead and give it a try. We don't know too much about it other than it's pretty predictable, but maybe we'll be wrong. But thank you so much for watching this episode. We'll have another one out for you tomorrow, fans of the horror franchise. But we've got another one coming for you tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Until next time, we will see you around the ballpark. Bye, guys.